Hi everyone! In this video I'm going to show you most of the digital art I made in the first half of 2024. Originally I was going to do it at the end of the year like I did last year, but I draw too much and because of that I already have quite a bit of art lined up. If I were to do it all in one video, that video would probably be 2 hours long. And as much as I like longer videos, and as much as you guys like longer videos from me, I don't feel like recording all that in one go and then editing it, so I decided to just split it into 2 parts. Hope you don't mind. Before I begin, I use Ibis Paint X for my digital art, and these are the brushes I use the most. And with that, let's begin the tour. First up are these human Bluey designs I did. Now, technically I drew these in December, but I couldn't show them in the last tour because I didn't want to spoil a video. You can watch it if you want to hear more about my thought process on these designs. My opinions have stayed pretty much the same since posting that video. I still really like these. I do see a few anatomy mistakes or just things I would change here and there, but overall I'm still very pleased with them. My Bluey design still got a lot of "she's a girl actually" comments, which is annoying. She doesn't look like a boy to me at all, so I don't know what that's about. My favorite is Muffin. She just looks so chubby and grumpy and I just want to squeeze her. Next are more Bluey characters I drew, but adults this time. I see even more anatomy mistakes on these, but I still like these. There's a video on these designs as well. I'm gonna say that a lot in this video, so be prepared. And I'm also not gonna go too much into detail on some drawings if I already have a video on that. Just don't want to repeat myself really. The response to these was mostly positive, though there were a few people upset about the body types or skin colors I gave them, as per usual. These characters are literal dogs, and you can make them look however you want. It also means you shouldn't be nasty when you don't like someone else's version. And this applies to a lot of my art, so I'm gonna say this once here and move on. Then I drew Roxy from FNAF Security Breach. This one is supposed to be paired up with a Glamrock Chica drawing I did earlier. This one was a lot of fun to draw. It was also kind of a pose and anatomy practice. I traced the poses from my references. To be specific, I drew the guidelines over them and then used that as my reference. It's a nice way to practice poses. I also wanted to work on my design for her. I really wanted to make her buff, kind of edgy, and this is very specific, but I wanted to draw the gray leggings. I did that with Chica as well. It still resembles the original designs, but it's also more appropriate, and it's kind of giving 80s vibes, which I love. Overall, I still like this one a lot. If I were very picky, I would maybe redo the hair, just the coloring of it is a little messy, and maybe the proportions of the face are not how I would do them now, but that's just me being nitpicky. This still looks nice. I wish I did the other characters in this format, but I did not. Oh, here I just put my Bluey designs on one canvas into families, or Chili and Brandy. I love that you can see the height differences and the resemblance they have with each other. Speaking of which, I would get same face syndrome comments on my Bluey drawings sometimes, but like, it's literally on purpose. They're relatives. Relatives look similar and I wanted to keep that. It's not like drawing same faces is a crime, but it's annoying when usually I draw faces different, but the one time I make related characters look similar, suddenly it's "you have same face syndrome." Next, I drew my OC cat, and I might have to do a cat counter because I draw her a lot. Here I was working out her design and style. I did a base first and then drew outfits on top of it. That was a lot of fun, and it's a nice way to design characters. The off-the-shoulder sweater outfit was supposed to be her default design, but I quickly realized that drawing her that way isn't that enjoyable. I prefer to draw her with her hair pulled back and in a dress and a cardigan. That's why the second outfit is my favorite. Her style is very coquette inspired. She wears a lot of pink, bows, pearls, and the lace. Personality wise, she's just a cutie pie. I really love how her face turned out here. She just looks so sweet. I don't really have any complaints about this one. Then I drew Alia's interlude on Instagram. She's very fun for me to draw and her outfits are very cool. I have drawn her before, but I traced her body from the reference because I was scared to get her body type wrong. On this one, I didn't want to do that, so this is all free-handed, and I think it turned out very good. The coloring here was a lot looser than usual. I didn't blend the colors as much. I also didn't do any shading on some areas, and I like it so much. I tried coloring it my usual way, but I didn't like it as much, and I think this is where I realized that sometimes less is more, and it's okay to be more loose when I draw sometimes. I really like this one. This is a redraw of my older piece, the first of many. This is a Cupid from Monster High, but my redesign, and this is a redraw of a piece I did the year before. The original was very rushed, so I really wanted to make this one look nice. I think I did well. I love her face. I also colored the background by hand. I used the FNAF pattern in black and white and colored each individual square to make it the gingham pattern. And I used the ruler tool to draw the lace frame. I think this turned out very well. I love the colors and all the gradients and sparkles and stuff. More redraws. This time is the Dazzlings from Equestria Girls. I'm not super happy with these. I was very proud of them when I just finished them, but once I posted them, people very quickly pointed out some anatomy mistakes I made, specifically their head sizes and Sonata's arms. I agree that I made the heads a little too big. The older drawing has the opposite problem. The heads are too small, so I guess I overcompensated on that. Aria looks okay, I just want to make the head a little bit smaller. Adagio actually looks good, I think. I like her. And yeah, Sonata's pose does look a little weird, though I traced it from a reference, so I'm not sure how that happened. I need to draw them more though, because I like these designs. Get ready for more redraws. I think I was in a bit of a creative block at the time, so I just redid a lot of my older works. This one is of Toy Chica from FNAF 2. I really wanted to make her more Garu because it wasn't very clear on the old drawing. I also changed some parts of her outfit. I especially love the furry boots because they look like duck feet, and I also gave her duck feet nails because duck. I really like how the coloring turned out here, especially on her face and the legs. The process was also very fun, even though it took a while, and at least to me, it looks a lot better than the original. Then I had to redraw the Toy Bonnie piece I made to match Chica. I don't like this one as much though. His face is just a little too wide. I just want to squish it on the sides a little bit. He also turned out a lot more pastel than the original. When I posted this one, the response was basically that both drawings look nice in their own ways. And honestly, I agree. I can see the progress and skill, but visually both drawings are about on the same level to me. This is a Cleo Denial redesign I did. I tried combining her G3 design with my old redesign of her, and I think it turned out pretty well. This is actually how I restyled my Cleo doll. though she doesn't look like that anymore, but I really wanted to draw it. I also included this piece in my redesigning my old Monster High redesigns video, since I already had the drawing done, might as well use it. One critique I have is that I made the slits on her skirt a little too high. It looks nice, but she is a high schooler, so should probably lower them a bit. And she needs bangs. Like bad. I recently caved and gave my Cleo doll bangs, and she looks so much better that way. But yeah, pretty pleased with this one. Then I did a bunch more redraws, and I even made a video on them. I picked a few pieces from different times in my art career, I guess, and redrew them obviously, but also talked about my art journey, so you can watch that if you want. First is this Sophie from the Walton Files piece. This one is probably my favorite from that video. I like how I shaded this, and the composition and atmosphere I wanted is just translated a lot better than on the original. This flower bed piece is not my favorite. I don't know what it is. I'm still not great at the lighting. Maybe that's what's bothering me. I don't know. It is better than the old piece though. This Celestia drawing actually got more traction than usual for some reason. I like it, but I'm not sure why this drawing in particular got so much attention. I don't mind though. I like this one still. The hair looks really cool, I think. Just all the overlapping colors. Some strands are shaded, others are flat. Her side profile also turned out well. Sometimes I struggle with them when there's no line art, but this one looks nice. And this is my photo finish design. Kinda random, but I just found the old drawing and wanted to make the design just a little bit better. The shape language is just a lot more interesting on this one, and I had a lot of fun with her. Then I drew even more Bluey characters. These were the ones requested a lot after the first two videos. Well, most of them. I still haven't drawn Rusty or Mackenzie. Sorry. But I still really like these drawings. I need to draw them more. Then I again put some of the characters together. The Healer brothers. Again, I love the height differences and the resemblance. It's exactly how it looked in my head. Then Bingo and Leela because they are friends. Calypso and the kids. There's a few characters that I still haven't drawn. I need to get onto that at some point. And of course Red and Frisky because I love them. This is that one meme that was going around at some point. The beautiful bride and her ugly groom or something like that. And it was a trend to redraw that picture. I made Cadence and Shiny Armor humans because I'm not good at drawing ponies. I was gonna go crazy with the coloring, especially on that dress, but that didn't really happen. I like her face though. I have drawn her once before, but her Equestria Girls version, and I wanted to keep the resemblance. Not sure how well I did it, but it looks nice. I put most of the effort into it, and by the time I got to the dress, I didn't feel like making it super detailed. Here I wanted to work on my Twilight Sparkle design a little more. I just felt like my old design didn't really fit Twilight. I feel like it's a little too fancy for her. She doesn't strike me as someone who would put that much effort into her clothes. Also, Twilight isn't my favorite, and I remember being a little lost on her design at the time. I really like this new one. The pose is cute, the coloring looks nice, and to me this design fits Twilight more. I also drew this very quickly when I was bored, which is why there's no background, but I did put a lot of effort into that vest, and I think it paid off. I love the texture of it. Then I decided to draw the Cutie Crusaders and rework my designs. I have drawn him before for a TikTok quite a while ago, and it started getting attention again out of nowhere. Those designs looked atrocious, so I had to redo them. I'm not exactly sure how old they are supposed to be in Friendship is Magic, but I did my best to make them look young. Drawing children is hard. This was also a bit of a pose practice. First is Apple Bloom. Not a super creative design, but it works, I think. I think you can tell who it's supposed to be. Then Sweetie Belle. I remember when I posted that old TikTok, like 80% of the comments were about her skin color. Yeah, she's the color white, but that doesn't mean that she can only be pale. If you see her that way, good for you. I don't. I also just think the design looks cool this way. I love the contrast. Hope that's not weird to say. And also, my design for Rarity is dark skinned, so Sweetie kinda has to be too. Anyway, I like how I did her hair. I wanted to give her a proper black hairstyle. It is pretty different from her original design, so I tried making the ends curled to resemble it a little more, and I like the outfit. Skurulu didn't change much from that old design, it's just in my current style with some more details. I see a lot of people give her crutches or other mobility aids, so I did that as well. She is technically disabled in the show, and I wanted to represent that in some way, and I like how tomboyish she looks. I remember a lot of comments on the original TikTok were calling Skurulu a grown man. I now agree that she looks older than she's supposed to be, but I don't know if I would call her a grown man. Could be fun to redraw that video. My favorite has to be Sweetie Belle, but they all look nice. I need to draw them again. Here is a quick Zecora drawing. I also did this one when I was bored. I felt like I was only drawing full bodies and wanted to do something a little different. I really like my Zecora design, and whenever I draw her, I'm having the best time. The coloring turned out very nice, I think. I'm especially proud of her lips. I often don't put much effort into them because you can't really see them anyway, but here I really wanted to focus on the details. I don't have much else to say about this one. Okay, this is Marceline and Bubblegum from Fiona and Cake, from the universe where they are sworn enemies but still have some tension going on low-key. This piece is interesting because I started drawing it, took a break, forgot about it, and finished it like 4 months later. The post was straight from a base I found. It's not something I usually do, but it was just so perfect for them. The coloring was a mix of different techniques, but visually it looks pretty good. This was very experimental, and I think it paid off. I did not feel like doing a background though, still something I have to work on. Oh, this is where I dipped my toes into doing line art. I don't really like doing it digitally, but decided to try it out here. And I used Cat for this because she's very easy for me to draw no matter what. The process was like actually agonizing for me. It looks nice, but I hated doing it. I just wasn't sure how I want to do it exactly, even though I do it all the time on paper, just do the same thing digitally, but I had some trouble with that. When I posted it, I said that I'm not gonna do line art again. Spoiler, I lied. Another cat drawing. I wanted to practice some cute poses. This is still one of my favorite drawings of cat I've done. I especially like the left one. She looks so sweet. And this outfit is super cute as well. And I think I drew this pretty quickly, even though it's two fully colored characters. I was just so inspired that it flew by very fast. Maybe I could have done more in the background, but it's whatever. I'm kind of running out of things to say about these. Then I drew Henrietta from South Park, aged up, of course. I always love drawing some trad goth makeup with a dramatic eyeliner, eyebrows and contouring, and the spiky hair. And I also love purple. I wanted to draw something not too complicated. This was fun, especially the makeup, and with a symmetry ruler I did it pretty quickly. I think she turned out really good. This is also kind of a redraw of an older piece, but that one was a full body. I just felt like the neck area was a little bit off on that one. I don't know. The new one looks better to me. Ooh, here comes the fun stuff. I did a 10 art styles challenge. I used cat, of course, and I have a video on this. It actually did really well on my channel. I really did not expect that. Thank you so much for that. I really enjoyed making it and was very excited to share it. So first up is the jelly art style, still my favorite from this challenge. The coloring is so different from mine, so it was interesting to do, and cat fits the style very well. Then I did the Sarah K style, very cute as well. The line art was torture for me, but it was worth it. This is my second favorite. Next is the Equestria Girl style. This is okay. I think I replicated the style pretty well. I did not trace or use any basis for this. Everything was purely referenced. I mean, that's the point of this challenge. The Adventure Time style, simple, cute. I think you can tell what it's supposed to be. Monster High, love this one. The style is so iconic, and I think I replicated it well. The only thing that someone pointed out is that the shoe on the left is flat. Whoops. Then I did the Sailor Moon style. This one was a little bit of a nightmare on the sketch stage, but I pulled through and the result looks good. The Stardew Valley style, I don't know if it's recognizable. I was getting pretty tired at this point. The Walton Files, this one was quick, but I think it's pretty recognizable. Over the Garden Wall, not my favorite. I said it in the video, but I'm not familiar with the source material. Might be why I don't really like it that much. And lastly, South Park. I mean, yeah. I actually did draw over a character base for this one. This is very specific, but someone, complained that I drew Cat as a child character here. They basically said that Cat is an adult, and there's a lot of new body types in South Park that I could have used for her, but I drew her as a kid instead. Well, yeah, there are a lot of body types in the show now, especially in Panderverse, but how I see it is when you think of South Park, the first thing you think of are the kids, so I drew Cat that way, and I can just age her down if I want to. Anyway, this challenge was a lot of fun for me. One complaint I really have is that I wish I did a more interesting composition for these. Maybe add the names of the styles or the logos in the corner or something. There were a few people confused on which style is which. It wasn't originally intended, but this also shows that you can include black features or bigger body types in different art styles, even if the styles didn't originally have that. Some people pointed that out to me, and I think that's really cool. Here I drew Leanne Cartman, my wife, because I have not drawn her in a while. It was partially because when I did draw her, I got a lot of negativity for making her fat. Most of it was just people asking why she's fat. Some people were trying to argue with me about it, making pretty ridiculous arguments at times. That was a time for sure. It is still one of my most popular TikToks. Even though I don't like those drawings anymore, it was back when I was drawing the heads too small and it gets on my nerves now. I still see her being short and chubby. I don't care. My anatomy has gotten better and understanding of shape language and all that stuff did too, so this looks much better to me. I just love giving South Park moms mom bodies. Here I tried to do a background. This is also a redraw of an older piece. This is Lyra and Bon Bon from My Little Pony on a little picnic date. I like how I drew them, but I'm not so sure about the background. It looks better than on the old piece. I like the colors here more. I just can't figure out how I want to do backgrounds. I want it to be kind of realistic, but stylized enough so the characters don't look out of place, you know? Still need to work on that. I do like their side profiles though. Like I said before, sometimes I struggle with them when there's no line art, but these look really nice. And I just love these two. They have a very special place in my heart. This is my other OC, Tyler. They are basically the Arrow Ace one in the group. They are on the outside of all the relationship stuff the other characters have going on. They are very blunt and straightforward, but will listen and try to help their friends still. And they also drastically change their appearance all the time. It's just a really good combo, a character that has a blank expression all the time, but it's still fun to draw them because I can have fun with their hair and outfits. I also found these meat letters on Pinterest and thought that fit Tyler's vibe well. And I like the colors, they are unintentionally the colors of the non-binary flag, and Tyler is non-binary, so that worked out perfectly. Here I took this screenshot from Bluey and drew it in my style because I found it so cute. This took forever. I don't draw multiple characters interacting with each other often, and here it's 6 of them. After doing the sketch, I decided to do line art here. It made the coloring a little faster and it resembles the original more. And I traced the background from the screenshot, though I had to expand it as well because otherwise it wouldn't look proportional with the characters. I like this one a lot, I think it turned out very well. It did get quite a few same face syndrome comments. I can kind of see it on the children, but again, they are relatives, and in my head the healers have strong genes and look really similar to one another. And also I feel like one look at my other art will tell you that I do not have SFS, and one drawing with similar faces does not equal SFS. I will have to censor this one. It's nothing too crazy, just some tatas. I have the full drawing on my Instagram, but don't look at it if you are underage. This is my other OC, Tasha, Kaz's girlfriend. I just wanted to draw them like stretching, maybe in the morning, and she doesn't wear bras, so yeah. I also used a picture for the background, a little shortcut, and I tried blending Tasha into it with some filters and airbrushing. That's another benefit of no line art, it blends into photo backgrounds a little better. I mean, you can still do that even if you do line art, it also looks really cool. Just when you want to make it look more realistic, having no line art helps. Oh boy, this one. So here I did that guess whose outfit is whose trend, and I know I didn't spell that correctly. I blame all the people using this caption for this trend, but anyway. The joke here is that Kat and Tasha are obviously different sizes, so when they switch clothes, they don't fit properly. Everything is falling off of Tasha, and Kat can't even move her arms, and the jeans don't go over her thighs. And I added some blinking animations to it because why not? It was my first time in a while doing animation, and I forgot how much of a mess it can become, even with something so small as blinking animations. But I'm very pleased with the end result, and it got over 1 million views on Instagram. That's still so crazy to me. Thank you for that. I'm not sure if I like the background, but it's not the focus here. I am so happy with how Kat turned out. In the first half, I love the outfit and the pose, and in the second half, her expression is just killing me. More Kat, of course. I just wanted to give her a few more outfits. This first one is cute. I wanted to give the bob another chance. The bag could look better. This one is so cute. I just wish I did something different with the stockings. And the bag, again, I need to work on bags. This one's adorable, I love it. She's so cutie patootie. This one is so pretty, and I love how I colored all the jean elements. Here I tried to revive that look that was supposed to be her signature one at first. It's cute, but I still like her more with her hair pulled back and in dresses or skirts. This is a base for all of these, and I give her a bonnet because why not? She definitely has a whole hair routine and takes very good care of it. I have drawn her with braids before, but she definitely prefers to keep her hair natural and rarely gets protective hairstyles. And this one is definitely my favorite outfit out of all of these. I usually draw Cat in white or pink, but here it's grey and it looks so nice. I love it. and I had a lot of fun with these. This is Mrs. Tweak from South Park. I'm not sure if she has an actual name now or not. I haven't been keeping up with the show lately, but I really wanted to draw her because I love her design. She looks really pretty to me. She looks a little crazy to me. Not sure what the intention was here, and I really like how her body turned out, especially the hip dips. For some reason, that specific part of the body is really satisfying for me to draw. Cat once again, taking a selfie. I also did a cat face version. This was very quick, didn't really have a plan for it, but I enjoyed it. I mean, it's cat, of course I'm gonna enjoy it. I wish I put more time into her phone. She would definitely have a fun and heavily decorated phone case. I'm talking as if I'm not the literal creator of her. She definitely would. No, she does have a very decorated phone case. This one is actually kind of old. I also started this one at some point in 2023, forgot about it and finished it months and months later. But this is supposed to be Tempest Shadow from the My Little Pony movie. It's pretty much just Rhea Ripley, and I even used a picture of her for the body. I like this one. Simple, nothing too crazy, but it looks nice. Then I redid some more of my Monster High redesigns. You've already seen Cleo, but I also redid Claudine, Draculora, and Frankie, and there is a video about this, like I said. Claudine is okay, I like her face, but something about the rest of her is bothering me. Maybe the pose is not the best and doesn't show off the design well. Someone also said that her skirt is too short, and I agree now. They are high schoolers and this is a little too much. Then Draculora, I like her a lot, and this is much better than my old redesign. I put a lot more effort into the outfit this time. And Frankie is not too different from my old redesign. If it's not broken, don't fix it, or something. I had fun with these. Then I did the 10 art styles challenge again, but with Tyler. I have a video on that as well, and this time I did add the logos of the original media so it's more clear where the style is from, and it just looks more interesting. The first style is Danny Phantom. It's okay, I was a little lost on the hair. BoJack Horseman style. I think you can tell what style this is supposed to be, Tyler just doesn't really fit in it. Steven Universe. Same thing, I think it's recognizable, but I'm not sure if it works for Tyler. The Scott Pilgrim Takes Off style. This one is my favorite. It fits Tyler so well, and it's a cute style, and the colors came together really well. The Owl House. A few people compared this to Amity, but I kinda expected that. Probably should have chosen a different hair color, but I like this one. Winx Club. It's something. Total Drama Island. This is cool. I think I was able to replicate this style, but I don't know if it fits Tyler. That was a common problem this time around. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse style, specifically the Alberto Mielgo style. I think the result looks cool, but the technique is definitely not even close to the original style. I had some trouble with it because the original style is very unique and I really wasn't sure how to achieve that look. Danganronpa style. It's been all over my For You page lately for some reason. Anyway, I was a little tired at this point and this one was a little rushed, not gonna lie. I like the face though. And lastly, the My Life as a Teenage Robot style. This one was very nostalgic. I really liked that show as a kid. For this, I combined a bunch of character designs into one because they all look drastically different and none of them worked for Tyler on their own, but I like the result. This was a lot of fun as well. By this point, I've warmed up to line art more, and when you put these drawings together, it looks really fun, I think. This is a Laguna Blue redesign I did. Also basically just my doll restyle. I'm not a huge fan of Laguna's G3 design. I'm used to her being pink instead of blue at this point. I just feel like the colors and clothes they give her are usually kind of a mess. There hasn't been a Laguna design that I fully like. For my redesign, I went for a Gyaru kind of look, but with some sporty elements. I like this design a lot. I also really like my doll of her, but this drawing looks a little washed out to me for some reason. I need to draw her again. Okay, this is when I started seeing a lot of Ever After High fan art, and it made me want to redesign some of the characters. This is Madeline Hatter. I later changed this design a little bit. I decided to do line art here. It's just that it would take me forever to color all the layers without it. I don't enjoy doing line art, but it does make the coloring quicker. I wanted this design to be really chaotic and mismatched, but still resemble the original, and I think it looks nice. More Ever After High redesigns. I'm gonna go quicker through these because I have a video on them. These are more like bases for the designs that I can later use as references, but I had fun. First is Apple White. She actually turned out so pretty. I love her face. Someone in my comments suggested that she could have albinism, and it wasn't my original intention, but I love the idea. Then Madeline. Here you can see that I changed her hair. I think it makes for a more interesting silhouette. And I love her face too. Raven. I like her, but there's a few things I want to change. Mostly the length of her dress. I wanted a more gothic direction with Raven, and I think it really suits her and makes her stand out more. Cerise Hood. This one was a struggle because I didn't really have a plan for her, but I think it came together in the end and the final design looks pretty good. C.A. Cupid. This one is definitely my favorite. I want to make her into a doll someday. A few people compared her to Chapel Roan. I can see that. I think she turned out really beautiful. Briar Beauty. My favorite part is definitely her face. I was a little lost on her outfit. Usually people make her super glamorous, and I went for a fancy nightgown look, kind of. I don't hate it though. She looks like a doll to me. Kitty Cheshire. Love her. Maybe the outfit could be more detailed and crazy to match her story, but the face and hair overshadow all that for me. I had a lot of fun with the faces. The last two are actually exclusive because I still have not posted them anywhere. I'm just not fully satisfied with them. Anyway, first is Cedar Wood. Why did I say it like that? Cedar Wood. I don't hate this one, but something about it is a little off to me. Her face though, one of the cutest faces I've drawn. And lastly, Lizzie Hearts. This one is a lot, and I'm not sure if it's in a good way or not. I like certain parts on their own, but something about them together is not fully working for me. But this is all for these redesigns as of now. This one was kind of random. This is Lisa Frankenstein from the movie of the same name. I found the movie really fun, but I struggled with drawing the main actress until now. It's surprising also because I usually don't draw semi-realistic portraits like this digitally. The coloring was also very experimental here. I tried to replicate the shadows and highlights with solid patches of color. I do something similar on paper sometimes. It's also in black and white, but I left the lips red as a cool little accent. And for the background, I was really excited to use a negative version of the drawing. I saw something like this on Pinterest and it looked really cool. This experiment really paid off, I think. Here I drew Glamrock Chica from FNAF Security Breach. I think my lights were out for quite a while. I was extremely bored, so I drew this without any references and really took my time with the line art and other details, and I think the result looks really clean. I like to imagine her skating around the pizzaplex, delivering food or stuff like that, and I like my design for her. I remember really struggling with designing her back when the game first came out, and I'm glad that now I have a design that I enjoy drawing and looking at. Oh, I love these! These are redesigns of my very old OCs that I made back in middle school. I have like 3 videos on this at this point, so if you want to hear about their stories and all that stuff, you can watch those. They're fun and I put a lot of effort in them. First is Bonnie, and I love this design and drawing so much. I really wanted to put in the effort and do line art, take my time with the coloring and the details, and it looks delicious in the end. What really elevated these is at the very end of coloring I merged the layers together, so the character is on one layer, no background, or I use the add a layer from canvas option, making sure there's no background. Oh, and also I duplicate the liner layer, that will make sense in a second. Then I duplicate the character layer, go to the lower layer of the two and put the stained glass filter on it. That gives the drawing an outline. I make it about 2 pixels thick. Then go back to the line art layer, lock it, fill it with a color that fits the character's color scheme. For Bonnie I did red. Unlock the layer and put the Gaussian blur filter on it. I don't make it too intense, just so it's a little bit blurred out. Then I lower the opacity of that until I like the look. It's a very subtle difference, but it's what really pulls it together for me. That sounds more complicated than it actually is. Anyway, I love Bonnie. Next is Sam. Very beautiful. I kinda cheated with her and used a symmetry ruler for her face. Yeah, love her. No complaints really. Mingyu. He's very cute. I like him. I think it's now more obvious that he's supposed to be Korean. If you watch the video and see his old design, the only Korean thing about him was his name. He also used to have a neck tattoo that I replaced with a birthmark, and I still feel very smart for that. Next is Daisy. She's so cool. In middle school I didn't draw her much, but after this redesign I did draw her multiple times, more than the others from this. And it wasn't just doodles either, they were fully colored pieces. Dan, he's good. I'm not a huge fan of his outfit, and I cannot replicate his face for the life of me. I have a few ideas for him, like comics or shorts that have to do with the plot, but I just can't make him look like himself. I hate it. And here they are all together, very cool, very fun. I love seeing these new designs compared to their old ones. I need to make more content with them. This is Bonnie, and in the plot, this is a picture that Daisy takes that reveals that something off is going on at their college. I experiment with the shading here. I wanted this to look dark and shadowy, and I think it looks cool. Multiple people have said that the ghost behind Bonnie looks like Shaggy. I can't unsee it now, thanks. Then I redesigned a few more of my middle school OCs to expand the cast and flesh out the story. I still don't have all the details down, but in the comments people have given me some really cool ideas that I'm definitely incorporating in some way. Anyway, first is Ben, Dan's brother. Spoiler, he's actually not alive in the main story. I drew this more as a what he would look like, but he's cute. Carmen, this design is not my favorite, but I don't hate it. Wendy, Carmen's wife. She's cute. I think her and Carmen complement each other well. They are more secondary characters, so I didn't want them to stand out too much. Elsa. I like Elsa. I really enjoy drawing her. I think this design is really fun, and I want to draw her more because I have a few ideas for her. Also, I forgot to mention it in the video, but she was inspired by the movie The Craft, especially the whole ordeal with her and Ben. And lastly, Natalie. This one was mostly a redesign than rewrite. I didn't really do anything with her story, I just wanted to draw a cool girl covered in tattoos. And because of that, this design is my favorite out of that video. I don't know why I don't draw tattoos very often. They are so much fun. Okay, and now I'm gonna show you some of the commissions I did, the ones I could find and was particularly happy about. I'm gonna use this opportunity to promote my commissions. I do them on Instagram, the price sheet is pinned in my profile. They're usually open, not super expensive, and I usually finish them pretty quickly. So if you would like to commission me, you can head over to my Instagram and message me, but only if you want to. Anyway, this commission is of the commissioner's persona, if I'm not mistaken. I love the colors and the little chibi version in the corner. I think so far this is the only time that someone commissioned both a bust and a chibi on one drawing. I had a lot of fun with this. This is one of the Pride commissions I did. They were the your character here type of commissions. Basically, I made a few bases, you choose one or maybe multiple, and I draw your character that way. I adjusted the poses, expressions, and flags if the commissioner wanted, and these were also a little cheaper than my normal commissions. And to make this a little more useful, I donated part of the proceeds to Palestinian and Ukrainian charities. So, again, thank you everyone that commissioned me that month, and everyone that has commissioned me in general. It's really cool that I'm able to do something like this. Anyway, back to the drawing. This is the commissioner's OC, I'm pretty sure. I think I've gotten a lot better at coloring my chibi characters. They used to look kind of washed out to me because I was putting too much detail into the coloring. This is another commissioner's OC, or maybe it was their persona. My memory is not the best, so forgive me if I'm mistaken on that. I like the colors on this one. The flag and the character's colors work really well together. Next is the commissioners themselves and their partner. Oh, I forgot that this year I also added a line art option to the commissions, and I think this is the first and only commission with line art that I've done so far, and I really love it. The coloring turned out very well, and I'm not gonna show the reference photos, obviously, but I'm very pleased with how I captured the likeness here. Another commissioner's OC, I just, again, really like how I did the coloring on this one. More commissioners OCs. I remember on the references the art style was relatively simple in a good way, and I had a lot of fun translating them into my style, and also the designs themselves are really cool. The same base, different characters. This was also a lot of fun. I always find it very interesting drawing other people's characters and again translating them into my style while keeping them accurate. I really love it. A little break from the Pride commissions. This one is a regular one. These are the commissioners' Call of Duty OCs, if I remember correctly. These were a little challenging, but I'm really happy with how they turned out. Their facial features, the scars, the beard. I had a great time. Another regular commission. These are the commissioners' OCs once again. These are really cute and I had a lot of fun with them. Also, a side note, often when commissioners send me references, they use images from my picroos, and a lot of them apologize for it and stuff like that, but I actually really love it. It's partially why I made my picroos. Not everyone can afford a commission, or they don't know how to draw, but still want to have an image of themselves or their character, and picro is a great option. It's a lot better than using AI or stealing someone's art or something. Just as long as you credit the creator, you're all good. And it also makes it easier for me to translate the character into my style, since that's literally my style. This commissioner is pretty much my regular at this point. They have commissioned me so many times at this point. I appreciate you so much if you're watching. But yeah, this is a character sheet and they gave me pretty much full creative freedom with the design and the items, aside from a few pointers. This was fun. And back to the Pride commissions. This is the commissioners' OCs. I remember the references were really cute and I really enjoyed drawing all the details. Another commissioner's OC. This was interesting because on the reference the style was so different from mine, but I managed and had a lot of fun with it. And the very last drawing for today is this one. It's the Commissioner's OCs, of course, and with these I got a lot of really detailed references, which made the process so much easier for me. I love when people do that. And yeah, this was fun, and the Commissioner was super nice and patient, as pretty much all of my commissioners have been so far. And this is it for now. I know it's August already, but it is what it is. I will do the second part of this tour for New Year's, most likely, like I did last year. Hope you enjoyed this. Like, subscribe, comment, all that. Check out my other socials, they will be on the screen and in the description. Stay safe, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!